when we got there, we didn't know who the gunman was. When they got into the building, they saw blood everywhere. They did not know who the gunman was. They said they watched and they saw my mother out in the middle of the floor cradling my father. Didn't know who they were at that point. And they said it was that point that the gunman got back around to her. They said she looked up at him. He put the gun to her head. She put her head down. He pulled the trigger. All they had to do was fire a gun into the ceiling. This guy rabbited to a back bathroom alcove area. They exchanged gunfire with him for a few minutes, and then he put a bullet in his own head. 23 people were killed that day. 23. It didn't occur to me at the time when I ran out that back window, but my parents had just had their 47th wedding anniversary 2 weeks prior to this. Mom wasn't going anywhere without Dad. Dad died before I could walk back around the front of the building. 23 people. Now, it may sound a little odd to you, but I'm not angry at the guy that did it. Because I gotta tell you, the people that do that sort of thing, they're not ever career criminals. We're talking about somebody that went nuts. That was somebody that had worms for brains. To me, you don't, if an animal is rabid, you don't be mad at it. You know, you're gonna take it out behind the barn and kill it, but you don't be mad at it. But I'm gonna tell you, and you can go back and you can check the newspapers from the day afterward, I was mad as hell at my legislators because I felt like they had legislated me out of the right to protect myself and my family. And I told the media then, and I tell them now, I get the craziest questions from them. Well, you could have missed, Susanna. What if you had missed? What if your gun had jammed? Okay, it was a revolver, not very likely, but okay, it's possible. But the one thing that no one can argue with, sure as heck would have changed the odds, wouldn't it? Would have changed the odds. Fast forward, 96. I got elected to the Texas State Legislature. Now I gotta tell you, the legislature is a lot of fun, by the way. And your state folks, most of those people, few exceptions, most of those people are good people that are trying to do the right thing. And that's a fact. I know you hear bad stuff about legislators all the time, that may be true of Congress. But as far as state people, most of those people are decent people. And they're trying to do what they think is right. I truly believe that, having worked in it for over a decade. I've worked with a lot of media since then, as you can imagine. I've given a lot of speeches. And I'm going to tell you something that you're going to think I'm nuts and you're going to just shove me off this podium. Are you ready for this? The media is your friend. It is. The media is your friend, but you got to know how to play their game. That's all it is. It's a game. You just got to play the game, and you got to know what the rules of the game are. I'll give you a few examples. Most of the time, in fact, I would say easily 9 out of 10 times, the kind of media that you're going to work with is a local reporter, right? It's going to be the local reporter. Guess what? They don't care. They don't care about the gun issue one way or the other. They were sent out to interview somebody about the local gun show. And they're doing it because they're getting a paycheck, and oh, by the way, their paychecks are pretty puny. They don't care. So guess what? You can direct what you tell them. Whatever you focus on in that conversation is what they will print or is what they will put on the air. I promise you, if you do it right. Let's talk a little bit about focus. In fact, let's do an experiment. Y'all have been sitting for a little while. I better stand up. Please. All right, stand up. Rub your hiney. You know, rub your neighbor's hiney. Okay, now let's do.
She told me to.
Let's do a little experiment here on focus. All right, everybody look around the room. I want you, there's going to be a test. Look around the room. I want you to find everything blue. Blue, blue, blue. Come on, look around the room. Everybody blue, 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 blue. I'm going to call on somebody. There's going to be a test here. Blue, 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 blue. Everybody see everything blue? You ready? Okay, everybody sit down. Close your eyes. Okay, now I want someone in the room to tell me everything that they saw that was red. You can open your eyes. Think about it a minute. Yeah, everybody was going, oh, crud, red, well, I don't. You know, it's just like when you're looking in the pantry for the salt, and you can't find it, and you're looking, and you go, I don't see the salt, and your spouse reaches right past your head and says, honey, it's right here, right in front of your nose. It's what you focus on in your conversations with the media. I promise you, it will come through to them. And you got to play the other games. You got to use the right words. And you got to put the right people in front of them. Am I right? Because if they come to your local gun show, who are they going to put on camera?
Bubba.
Bubba.
Yep.
They're going to put Bubba.
Yep.
They're going to, oh, that guy right there? No. They're going to.
Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, yes. You pegged it exactly. Only Larry the Cable Guy in camo with no teeth.
Right.
If they can find him, they're going to put him on. They'll go get somebody out there that goes, guns is good. Okay? So you got to be prepared. If you know the media is coming, be prepared. Who do you put in front of the camera? Let me tell you who you put in front of the camera. I'm sure I'm going to upset somebody with this. You put a female, black, pregnant, lesbian in a wheelchair. You've got to play their game. When they put Larry the Cable Guy in front of the camera, what are they putting in front of the camera? They're putting somebody that everybody pictures as radical, extremist, racist, right?
Stereotype.
Okay. You got to use their words. And I want y'all to practice this. The other side. And you tell them this. It's the other side that is radical, extremist, discriminatory at best, and racist at worst. And you watch that little anchor person and that little reporter go, huh? You know, wait a minute, that's what we always say about you. Okay, well let's talk about it a minute. Okay, radical and extremist. I'm sorry, the other side is looking at those guys in Washington right now, they're looking at taking 200 years of American tradition and flushing it down the toilet. I think that's reasonably radical and extremist. Discriminatory? How about all of the, now here I believe y'all have shall carry. Is that correct?
Yes.
Shall carry? Some of you are not familiar with what a may carry state is. I believe
Yes, we
Colorado
are.
is
Oh,
still.
yes, we are.
Okay,
We had that.
okay, may carry. Colorado used to be a may carry state. So what happens in a may carry state? I'll tell you what happens. The white guys out in the rural areas who are friends with the sheriff that get to make the decisions, they get to carry guns. Who doesn't get to carry a gun?
People in Denver.
The black single mother that lives across the street from a crack house that has no way of protecting her children from all the crackheads running around and they got bullets flying over their head on an almost daily basis. You don't think that's a little bit discriminatory and potentially racist? Look at me doing the whole thing up here.